panel discussion, we hope that we'll be able to also address all the questions that were left. So without much further ado, I think I'd like Rose from Zindi to just quickly introduce herself before I take people through today's agenda and what they can expect. Rose?
Mic check. You can hear me? Oh, great. So hi, everyone. I hope you're doing great and excited for this session. We have so much planned for you guys. So my name is Rose Delela Gisicho. Some of you have met me from Moringa School as your technical mentor, but I'm also a community coordinator at Zindi. And I'm really excited to have you guys here and hoping you'll learn a lot. I know the importance of community, and I'm a real passionate person in the community space. So please sit back, feel free to engage with your panelists, get to hear from them and the knowledge they have, and they can also share with you the opportunities that they got from the community. So please ensure that you are listening in and having fun during this session. So yeah, that's it from me, and I'll pass it back to Sasha to take us through today's agenda.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Rose. So for today's event, I think let's just set a couple of rules. I know ever since COVID happened, people have really accustomed to online events, Zoom etiquette, on meet rooms, Teams. I know there's so many platforms, but for us here, we are using Zoom today. So I'm gonna kindly request everyone to just be on mute if you're not speaking. If at all you have a question that you'd like any of the panelists to address, kindly use the raised hand reaction. I believe you should see it on the 3 dotted lines. You'll be able to just raise your hand and we can see it, and then we will unmute you so that you're able to address your questions to the panelists. Other than that, just as Rose had mentioned earlier, we are requesting all of you to just sit back, be very present, be very engaged in today's session, take as much as possible from the knowledge that we will be sharing today, and ask as many questions in the comment or like the chat box, and we will be able to see it. All the panelists will be able to see it, and at the end of the panel discussion, we will have an interactive Q&A session, and we'll be able to respond to all of them. Great. Yeah, above all, yeah, let's learn, let's have fun. This is an after work session. I know most of you are from school, you're from work. I don't know if some of you are commuting, but thank you so much for making the time. So make sure you learn and enjoy this panel discussion as much as possible. Great. So on today's agenda, we have already started with the welcome remarks. So we are really excited to see many people joining us from all over Kenya and outside Kenya. Thank you so much. I'm gonna take you briefly through Moringa School for those who don't know Moringa School and the work that we do. And then Rose is gonna come in and briefly share about the work that Zindi does and the opportunities that exist for everyone who has attended today. Then after that brief introduction of the two organizations, we will now bring on board our panelists today, which will be led by Lydia Gadoni. They will introduce themselves and then we'll kick off the main discussion for the day. At the end, we are going to leave some time for some interactive Q&A. So we are putting a lot of emphasis on, we want this to be very engaging. We just don't want our panelists to be speaking and you're listening. So let us also hear from you. If you have additional points, you have a tech community that you're representing, you want to plug in, feel free to do that during the Q&A session. Yeah, so we hope that by the end of it, we'll be able to receive feedback from you on how this was. Was it impactful? Was it helpful? and how and ways of how we can continue to improve our events and the topics that you would like to see more from Moringa School and Zindi. Great. So I can already see someone asking questions around like our programs at Moringa. So it just shows, I'm very happy that some people did due diligence and knew that Moringa offers classes and sessions. Thank you. So I'll just briefly take you through who we are and the work that we do. So Moringa School is a learning accelerator, and right now we are multidisciplinary. So what this means, we are offering more courses other than software development and data science. I know for a very long time, since we started in 2014, we were known mainly for offering software development, that is specializing in full stack web development and mobile app development. But over the years, we have grown significantly and expanded even our numbers and our courses. So right now we offer 4 tech-based courses. One of them is the 20 weeks software development program that is available both online and for physical classes. Then number 2, we have a 23 weeks data science course that is offered on full-time basis and also on part-time basis. And the course is also available online for anyone who is not in Nairobi or in Kenya to access our campus. Then the third course that we introduced recently is a soft skills course. So this is a 5 weeks program that's aimed at equipping and empowering anyone who is in the stage of seeking an entry-level position in the workspace. So we mainly train on that for you to thrive in teams or in a new company if you're joining. Then lastly, the 4th course that we introduced this year is a diploma in computing course. So for this program, we have partnered with NCC Education, which is a UK accreditation body that offers international diplomas for anyone who is interested. So for all our programs, they are available online, a lot of emphasis on that. So regardless of the region or where you're joining us from, you will be able to access our courses and they'll be delivered online. So other than, I've just given you a brief scope of all the programs that we are training in. So since 2014, we have been able to train over 4,000 students, and we can confidently say that 85% of our graduates who are in the job seeking stage have been placed in various opportunities. So this is not to say that we guarantee jobs, but we do have a network of employer partners and industry relationships that give us that advantage and that edge in the market to place our graduates in. So if at all a graduate is looking to be a tech entrepreneur, we do have opportunities to support you in that. If you're looking for a job in software engineering or data science roles, IT roles, ICT roles, tech roles, and the likes, we do have resources and provision to support you in getting that job after you graduate from Moringa. So our main campus is based in Nairobi, and we have also offered our courses across Africa in Rwanda and Ghana and Uganda. But right now, all operations are coming from, all the main operations are coming from our main campus here in Nairobi, Kenya. So if at all you're interested in our programs, you can visit our website at www.moringaschool.com just to learn more about our culture, the student experience, the learning experience, the course offerings, the upcoming intakes, and have a one-on-one session with one of our teammates to just take you through what we do. And if at all you're interested, we'll be able to assist you in getting an enrollment to join Moringa School. So I think at this point, I can just answer this question from Bernard, and then I'll hand it over to Rose to take us through Zindi briefly. So I can see Bernard asks, is there provision for evening classes for those who are working, and what's the duration? Yes, so for our data science program, like I mentioned, we do have part-time courses and they are taken in the evenings. That is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. So I'll share the link to our website, so you'll be able to just see how the learning schedule looks like for part-time students or people who are working and can't commit to a full-time course. Then we'll be able to assist you from there if at all you're interested in joining Moringa. Great. So thank you so much. And I'm gonna invite Rose from Zindy to just tell us a little bit about Zindy and the partnership that we have before we dive into the panel discussion. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rose.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. Thank you for the intro of Moringa School. And as Sasha has mentioned, we are partnering with Moringa School. So Moringa School being an institution that trains individuals to become data scientists, world-class data scientists, we also have the side of Zindy where we help the data scientists upskill. So Zindy is a platform where we have a community of data scientists who plug into the platform to work on data sets which are African made for Africa and solve those solutions for the society. So I'll just put up a short presentation for you guys just to familiarize yourself with who Zindy is and what we are doing in Africa. Hoping you can see my screen. So yes, yeah. So Zindy tagline is building AI together. As mentioned earlier, we are a social enterprise whose mission is to mobilize a vibrant community of data scientists across Africa, solving most pressing problems in the region. So we have data sets that are coming from all walks of Africa, literally all walks of Africa, and we have data scientists across Africa solving these problems. So that is what we are standing for. We want to build AI together. And one quote that was said by Lawrence Muthonga is, the only way we are going to fix Africa's problems is with Africa's solutions. So that's the only way that we can be able to build our continent and just prepare ourselves for the future of work. So we are actually advocates of helping our continent grow and the talent in it. So you as data scientists to upskill and be able to solve these problems that we are facing using data and artificial intelligence. So one of our success stories from the community I can talk about is Lawrence Moria. So for those of you who have interacted with him, he had no massive or advanced skills in data science. So he just stepped out of his comfort zone, tried the Zindy platform with the basic skills he had in data science, tried a competition that was even closed, and he sharpened his skills. And currently he's leading on our leaderboard. And another amazing thing or aspect about Zindy is, apart from just hosting competitions that are African based, we also have funding for that. So fun stuff, you can just plug into a competition and actually gain income from it. You can just win a lot, an amount of money for just taking part in a competition. And from Lawrence's story, he was able to get an internship at Kala. For those who know Kala, and as a data science intern, and he's currently in doing his master's program in AI and machine learning at the African Institute for Mathematics and Sciences. That's in Senegal, and he's currently ranking one of the top people in the leaderboard at Zindy. So that's one of the success stories that you have at Zindy. That means you can start from nowhere, just having the basic knowledge of data science, just coming fresh from Moringa or just doing projects in Moringa School and just plug into Zindy, and you can be able to have an amazing outcome in your data science journey. So Zindy till date has over 30,000 data scientists registered, and we are currently live in 45 African countries. And our Twitter follower, we have a huge following of 6,000 Twitter followers, and we are very inclusive, whereby we have 25% of Zindy users being female. So for the meantime, we have launched over 150 competitions and hackathons, and we have up to 2,000 data scientists competing in this competition. So we can see a lot of Africans actually plugging into the data science field. and we have over $300,000 in prizes paid to data scientists to help them upskill. So you're just learning and getting paid to do so. That's very amazing. And again, next year we'll be having the largest Pan-Africa virtual hackathon, which will encompass over 1,000 plus students in 100 plus, obviously, universities across Africa. We are also looking to partner with Moringa on that, and hopefully we'll get a huge amount of data scientists taking part in the hackathon and scaling up to become world-class data scientists. So for those who haven't interacted with Zindy, you can go to our platform at https://zindi.africa or zindi.africa, and our platform looks like this. You can be able to filter based on if you want a hackathon based on money or points or knowledge, and then just check on good for beginners, intermediate, and advanced, and just the different skill sets that you want to gain or the different industries that you want to plug into and get started. And again, we have a huge community of people who can assist when you feel like you are blocked somewhere. So just reach out to our community of ambassadors across Africa, and they can be able to be part of your journey. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at delela@zindi.africa. And also, if you want to become a Zindi ambassador in your university, feel free to reach out to me, and we can facilitate the process for you to help us build our community. Yes, thank you. Back to you, Sasha, to introduce our panelists.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I hope everyone's questions have been answered today around like who is Zindy and what is this Moringa School? What do they do? What do we do, right? So I hope those questions have been answered today. And yeah, feel free to also reach out to Moringa School on all our social media platforms. We are on all social media platforms. So if at all you are in this webinar today and you have an opportunity that you would like Moringa School to collaborate or support your organization or team in, reach out to us. We are on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. And yeah, you can just send a direct message to us or our emails. I'm going to leave our contact at the end of this event, and we will be able to have that conversation and see how we can plug into like either your university or like organization. Great. So I think at this point, I'm going to ask our moderator and our panelists to just show their videos. We are getting into the main part of today's event. I'm very, very excited. You guys don't even know. We have on board some super, super amazing women in tech, and also I think, I don't know if Sam has joined the call. Maybe Sam, if you have, could you just put up a reaction before I hand it over to Lydia? Yeah, but like I was saying, we have an amazing profile of panelists today. You'll get to meet them. And yeah, make sure you engage and you ask as many questions as possible. Yeah, from today's session. So I think we still have to give a few more minutes to one of our panelists. His name is Sam Masikini from Malawi. He'll be joining us shortly. But at this point, let me welcome Lydia Gadoni to take it off from here.
Thank you so much, Sasha, and good evening, everyone. Please excuse me, my video is very, very, very terrible. Allow me now to put it on. So my name is Lydia, and I'm a developer, the scientist, and very passionate about communities. Sorry. I'm in deeplearning.ai. I'm in Nairobi Women in Machine Learning and Data Science. And I'm also a Moringa School alumni, and it's a pleasure to be moderating this panel today. Is Sam in? Delilah, you can confirm before we begin.
I think I'll notify when he joins. He might be having some technical issues.
Okay, Thank you. So today we are going to be discussing about the power of tech communities in the data science career. And we have very, very amazing panelists, data scientists, and are all part of different communities in tech. And you're really excited to have them here. So a community at its heart is people. And a great definition of a community is a group of people with shared values, behaviors, artifacts, or tools of trade. And these shared values and behaviors help us recognize one another as people with similar passions, goals, and they make it easier for us to communicate and collaborate in various things. A tech community is not different. And as you'll hear today, we have so many communities with a shared goal and with the same purpose and the same passion in technology, in data science, in AI, in machine learning, in a lot of things which involves data. And so I want to welcome our panelists for today. We have Soka Sam from Senegal. Soka is a data scientist. She's currently a data scientist at Theolex, which is in France. And she's a founder of Women Promoting Science to the Younger Generations and a co-organizer of the Women in Machine Learning Data Science in Dakar, Senegal, and a member of the Masakane NLP. Fun fact about Soka is she loves fashion to the point that sometimes she will wake up just dressed very well in makeup and as if she's going for a date just to feel good about herself, which is very good. Thank you for joining us, Soka, and welcome. We are excited to hear from you today. We also have Melissa Mishoki. Thank you. We also have Melissa Mishoki, who's a data scientist from Nairobi, Kenya. She's a computer science student at University of Nairobi. She's a co-lead at CodeBar Nairobi, a deep learning.ai ambassador, a GDSC core team, and a DSCT lead. Thank you so much, Melissa, for joining. And a fun fact about her is that if she could have any superpower, it would be to time travel. And she says that people rarely appreciate how precious time is, which is very true. Karibu sana, Melissa, and we're very, very excited to have you here. Our third panelist is Zakia Mustafa. Zakia Mustafa is a data scientist at Utu Technologies, and she's based in Nairobi, Kenya. She's currently working on a face aging library using CAAE, and she's also a part of the Nairobi Women in Machine Learning and Data Science. Fun fact about Zakia, she's really good at numbers. She remembers exact numbers from years ago. Zakia, you demonstrate, show us an example as we go on, but thank you very much for joining. Yes, thank you so much for joining, and we're excited to have you here. Our last panelist, last but not least, we have Sam Masikini. Sam Masikini is from Malawi. He is an ambassador at Zindi Africa. He is a developer, computer systems engineer, and data scientist. He cherishes team working spirit and has great leadership skills. And Sam takes great interest in learning new ways to approach problems. Sam, I'm not sure if he's in yet, but we are also very excited to hear from him all the way from Malawi. Karibuni sana, and I'm sure we'll have, for those who don't know Kiswahili, Karibuni is welcome. I'm aware that not all of us are from Nairobi, and welcome very much, and Karibuni, that's a new term you can learn today. So we'll have a few questions. I'll be moderating the questions for the panelists, and we hope that you'll learn and take as much as you can from today from our panelists who are very, very well selected. And we'll also be having questions from the attendees. So throughout the session as we go on, and you feel like you have a question from a specific panelist, you can just put it in the chats. We will go through them later. Or even to any of the panelists also, you can just continue putting them in the chats. We'll cover the questions from attendees as we proceed. Thank you very much. Be some guidance from Sasha or Delilah. Do we continue with the questions as Sam joins us?
Yes, Lydia, we can continue.
Okay, thanks for the clarification, Delilah. Maybe to our panelists, Soka, Zakia, Melissa, how did you get into the community you're currently in? Did someone inspire you? Maybe you can just take us through how you managed to get into the community. Melissa, we'll begin with you.
Hi. So I think for me, how I got into community, my first community was Kodba. And I was actually on Twitter and I saw that Mishak was asking for a co-lead, and I reached out to him via LinkedIn. And that's how I actually started getting into communities and getting connected to people who are also in communities. Yeah. Oh, but my first, sorry, I think my first community was DSC, but I only attended one, and that's how I got interested. But joining was Kodba.
Okay, thank you. Soka?
Yes, Lydia. So just one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm also a Zindi ambassador. So yeah. Thank you for this great question. I think from my side, I did not have any, let's say, any inspiration from anyone. So I was at the beginning very affected by but I always had the idea that I was sharing with my colleagues, my friends, and they were always, "Oh, you have great idea. You should join us," So this is how I got to join my first community, which is a club mathematics from my university. And thanks to that first experience, it's got me very excited about community. I start looking for any community related to what I love to do, and then I get to join many community at the end. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Soka. And to you, Zakia.
Hi, I got into tech in 2019. I hope you can hear me, guys. So I got into tech in 2019. So I had to relocate from Mombasa to Nairobi. So I was actively involved with the community while in Mombasa. So when I got into tech, so I started looking for communities to join, and I started actively volunteering into the tech community. And I was really interested in data science and machine learning. So my instructor happened to be the co-founder of Nairobi Women in Machine Learning and Data Science community. So I was like, oh wow, I know Nairobi Women Machine Learning and Data Science community. So and that's how we connected. And then since then I've been part of the Nairobi Women community. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think the key thing that has stood out from the three responses is there's someone involved or someone who inspired them, and there are people involved, which is, as I mentioned earlier, is the heart of every community, people and being inspired by people. And thank you for that. Maybe to our next question, how has being part of a community contributed to your data science journey? Soka, can begin with you.
Okay. So yeah, actually, if you take the work of a data scientist, it's more like you need to be interactive. You need to have a thinking mindset, and you need to be very curious. And this you will not learn it from school. And mostly one main way of learning that is being part of community. From my side, I was very shy at the beginning, not really like afraid of sharing my ideas. But when I started being part of communities, I got myself really know what of that scientist is, networking also people are in the field and who has more experience than me, and also got mentors from the data science community. So it has like being part of community has like give me a lot of opportunities related to my data scientist actually works. Many of my boss I meet them from data science communities. So this is one interesting about communities. Yeah.
Thank you, Soka. Zakia. Hello, Zakia.
Hello, okay. Okay, I had to change my network. I was getting in and out. I don't know if you can hear.
Okay, you're breaking a bit. Or maybe we can go to Melissa as your network stabilizes.
Hello.
Zakia, can you hear me? Melissa, maybe you can take one as Zakia stabilizes.
I think community has helped me grow in various ways. I think I have been able to network more, and I think many opportunities to grow come from communities. I think for me, the first time there's this community WhatsApp groups. I got interested in mentors, and that's how I got to know my mentor is from Safaricom, and she really helps me. I think I've also met a lot of ladies who are in tech who've helped me grow in terms of soft skills, in terms of how to maneuver different things and how to put yourself out there. I think one important thing that is very important when you're in the tech space is self-branding, and just putting yourself out there as a person who knows whatever you're doing, or just participating in creating awareness of whatever that you're doing. Yeah, I think other than that, I think the one thing is I've also made very many good friends who I keep up to now, who actually I can consult when it comes to any matter. If maybe I'm going to a tech event and I'm not so sure about a certain topic, I can just call them up and just ask them to help me out. I think that's the most important thing. Community just helps you have like a support system to help you out in the various things. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Melissa. Zakia, I know you're okay now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Billy. I have met like awesome people in the tech industry like Lydia and Rose, and we have been able to keep in touch ever since. So another thing is the tech community has helped me grow tremendously in my journey. So I got my first speaking gig through the community. I also got my first NLP gig through the community still. So yeah, and also by attending the community events helps really a lot. So I attended the deep learning India event. So, and people were talking about guns, which I had no idea what they were talking about. But then now I'm doing the first aging library that is using the conditional adversarial autoencoders. So I'm able to like go back to my notes and just relate things. So the community has helped me a bunch. I hope it didn't break.
You are fluent. Thank you. Thank you, Zakia. I think what you're getting out of all this is basically the panelists have talked about the benefits and the opportunities they've gotten from being part of communities, and I'm sure you've taken a few of them. Have job opportunities. As Soka has said, that most of her bosses, she met them from the communities. We have the networking opportunities where you get to meet a lot of people. And Melissa mentioned about having a mentor whom she met from the community, just many amazing people in the tech space. And Melissa touched on also self-branding, which is also very key in the space, in the tech space. As you become part of the communities, you get to know how to package yourself out there, and the kind of skills that you have, and how also even to speak to people when you're trying to network with them. And Zakia mentioned about algorithms, an algorithm she had from a community she's part of. And so that's why when you are discussions around technology and algorithms, and you're not aware of any of them, you're able now to go back and just look into them, research about them, and even learn more about them, so that the next time when people are talking about scans or maybe any other algorithm, you're able to quickly pick it up and continue working on it. Also the speaking gigs. I remember also my first ever speaking gig was at Nairobi Women in Machine Learning, even before I joined the community. And since then, it really boosted my confidence when speaking to people and speaking to a lot of people around technology, and even just how to prepare for a speaking engagement, which is also helpful for being part of our community. So I hope you have taken into consideration the kind of benefits you're able to get for just being a community and how it helps you in your journey. Yes, so moving on, maybe I'll just ask also our panelists. So all of you, you're either at working or you're in school. So how have you been able to partition your time to do community, to be part of communities? And most of them not just in one, but many. So how do you balance your time to do community and a full-time job or school? Zakia, we can begin with you.
So it's not easy. So we usually make the most of the evenings, and most of the events are over the weekend, that is Saturday. So yeah, that really helps a lot. So yeah, just planning yourself, working in the evenings for what you really want. So yeah, that is community. Back to you, Lydia.
Thank you, Zakia. Melissa.
I think it's all in planning and being flexible, because you might find yourself having to have backups. Like if you find you had a session planned for maybe Thursday 5 to 6, and you can't really, maybe the speaker has an engagement, or you find yourself having issues, you just have to plan it out to have like backups or like someone who's helping you out. Again, I usually say community shouldn't overwhelm whatever you're doing at the same time, because your life is the most important thing, whatever you're doing currently. Then tech communities just can't supplement whatever that you're doing. So just planning it out and being flexible to just change. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Soka.
Well, for me, some of my tech communities, I just include them as my part of my works. The reason why is that whenever I'm in a tech community, even if I spend a few time on the tech community, I learn a lot, So I just make it part of my jobs. Whenever I have break or I have time, I go to my, channels, check messages, to see what's going on. If there is any events really interesting for me that is happening, and I will do my best to join that event. And also my weekends, I spend them on checking on my tech community. If there is any task I have to do on it, if there is any interesting that has been shared, I need to look at. For my personal learning, I just go through it and try to see how it's go, and so for myself, I just make it part of my job, and then yeah.
Okay, thank you, Soka. Maybe just to reiterate, when you're joining a community, it has to really align. Soka, I think, has to really align with what you're doing. Like I can't join a community that does For example, I'm trying to look for a good example that's not so much far from tech. For example, I can't join a Java community, and mostly I work with Python, which is okay when you want to learn it. But if it's so far away from what you're doing in your daily tasks or your daily whatever you're learning or whatever you want to grow into, it can be very difficult to find that balance for the community and for your full-time maybe job or school. And so it's very good to know what your goals and passions are, and that will really inform what kind of community you will join and how you participate in it. So thank you so much, Soka, Melissa, and Zakia. Maybe in line with what you're discussing, maybe can you tell us what constitutes of a good community from your experience as some of you as lead and as core members of your communities? What really constitutes a good community in data or technology? Melissa, I'll begin with you, or I'll lead in a couple of them.
I think for me, I usually try and make sure that my community is also taken into consideration of beginners, because sometimes topics that are brought into sessions can become very complex or high level, that person who's just maybe gained interest in in data science or a certain particular topic might just lose interest or switch off. I think one thing that is also important is making sure that you take into consideration of everyone's opinion. So that's why I think most of the time we usually even do polls or ask people who are in the community, what do you want to really learn, or what are you finding yourself struggling with? And then again, just like you said, the community has to be oriented with whatever that you're doing. So we have, because data science, you use various tools, we take into consideration of everyone, just from the beginner to the person who's at an advanced stage. Also, communities should be able to offer mentorship. So people who are in advanced levels should be able to offer mentorship to people who are just starting out or are maybe even in the intermediate levels. Again, I think there's one thing that I really like about CodeBar. There are very, very strict rules about just respecting people's boundaries and knowing what's right and what's wrong in the guidelines. And that's why I think those are very, very important things to look into. I think other than that, I don't think there's much, but it has to be diverse. You have to always have people coming in every once in a while to refresh. Maybe even just as a community leader, you will always keep learning and learn something new from people who are outside. Yeah. So don't limit, it's more of not limiting your members to a particular thing and being broad, okay, within whatever the community members are interested in.
Great, thank you, Melissa. Soka?
Well, so to me, a good tech community should be really very interactive. So it shouldn't be just like something that you create, maybe open a channel and then maybe everyone will wake up and say hi to everyone, you know, but it should be something that is really interactive, where people can talk to people, learn from them, get really involved on what is happening in the tech community. So you shouldn't be just something that you are part and then every day you come and read messages and you go. So you should be really involved, and you should also welcome idea from everyone, especially for beginners. If you are beginners, you are sometimes scared of sharing your ideas, you know, sharing your project because you feel like this does not mean a lot, so I shouldn't share this. So the tech community should give you that confidence about yourself to share your idea, interact with people, learn from them, and get feedback also from them. I believe that these are really important things that should be involved in a tech community. Yeah, so I think, so these are the points I really like to see in a tech community whenever I'm joining a tech community. So it should be something I really see myself on. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Zakia, over to you.
To me, a good data AI community is first, for me, I'll ask myself, what do I want to achieve, or what do I want to learn? That is because AI and data is diverse. So if I want to do, let's say I want to venture into NLP, so I'll look for Masakane NLP. So I know that's where I'll get the most out of it. So for me, that will be a good community, and I'll be able to benefit. But then if it doesn't align with the goals that I have, then that community won't be helpful to me. So it goes back to what do you want, and what goals do you have. And another thing is, to me, a community should be inclusive regardless of your educational background, because I think I can see the other communities that disregard people from like from boot camps, and those who are not in universities, they just annoy me. So yeah, and yeah, most of the stuff has been said, so just incorporating all that.
Thank you so much.
But
Okay, thank you. Maybe I'll just take back to soccer. She mentioned about interactiveness. So soccer, like as a community lead, how would you promote participation and interactiveness among the communities that you lead and among the members of the community that you lead?
Yes, so yeah, like I said, so for me, the one of the most important things is try to involve everyone. And the way of involving everyone is by taking initiative. Let's say you have some project, try to see people who are interested on this. Let's say you have, let's say the case of, just take a case of NLP, for example. You have many fields in NLP. You have speech, you have machine translation. So try to create project that's people who are interested on the machine learning, the translation part will see themselves, okay, this is like the project I was working on, or the project I want to work on. So I should join this group, So it makes people get involved on what is happening in the community. So try also to make share task between the community's members. It shouldn't be just something that the leader is doing everything. So try to say, oh, these people should work on this, these people should work on that. And then after you bring everything together. So it makes people feel that, oh, I'm learning something, or my idea has really meaningful, so it's make people feel comfortable about the community.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Soko, for that. Zakia, you also mentioned about inclusivity, and inclusivity is really key in the tech space. How do you, as a lead, a core part of our community, how do you ensure this inclusivity in the community?
would you pardon that, Lydia? I think.
Okay, sorry for that. You mentioned about being a tech community being inclusive, and we all know that inclusivity is really key and a major part of technology space. So, how do you ensure that in your communities there's inclusivity among the members?
Okay, so I've been part of the Nairobi Women in Machine Learning and Data Science community. So how will we make sure that, because we were, so I learned this from Mudoni, who is the co-founder. So when it came to the meeting, so we had meetings, which we haven't had in a while now. So we had meetings on every Wednesday, and everyone, like the community is equal, like everyone is can air out their views. Like everyone is supposed to air out their views. If you want to start your own project, the community will support you. If you want to start anything, basically the community will be there to support you. And that's what I really love about the community, and that's why I joined even as an organizing team. So yeah.
Thank you, Zakia. Maybe to Melissa, as you wind up. Melissa, your communities, you usually insisted on beginners, and what are the things that your communities does to really attract beginners or involve the beginners in just being part of it? And yeah.
Pardon?
I'm saying, while you're talking about your community, you're really interested on beginners and just involving beginners and ensuring they are more participatory in your communities. So how do you ensure that your community attracts a lot of beginners, and also how do you involve the beginners in just ensuring the community is active?
I think one thing is I usually always go back to my first week when I was at Moringa, and I think for me, I was really, really scared considering that this was all new to me. And I think every week brought a new thing. And most of the time, considering that I didn't have a background in statistics or maths, I'd have to put in more hours. And I think right now at this point is when I realized that there are things that I should have done to help me to just understand some of these things. And these are the things that I usually try and do when it comes to beginners. I try and give them tips. I try and help maybe create, share out content or resources that that a beginner can understand, or even maybe even organize events that are beginner friendly. And then if I have a session myself, I usually make sure that whatever I am speaking about, I can break it down to chunks that a beginner can understand. So I don't get too technical. At the same time, I don't lose the audience that is maybe at an advanced level. And I try to make sure that maybe for someone who's beginning, there are very many things that people don't usually know what to expect in the like, maybe if someone gets into they're getting into the science and they want to learn also machine learning, most of the time you find these people just data science, you've learned a bit, you just shift to machine learning and it becomes so heavy on you. So I usually say I usually try and make sure that they can understand. Take your time, try and understand, and also just share tips on things that they should know. I think most of the time we don't get this immediately. It requires you to go an extra mile just to understand some of these things. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Melissa. I think we have come to the end of our panel discussions, but we also had some questions from attendees who had forwarded their questions before the event. So I will categorize them and ask one of them, not all the three, but just specific panelists to answer a few of them. And then we can also take a few questions from the attendees. If you have questions, you can continue posting them on the chat. We'll cover them. And yes, I had a question. There's someone who was asking for the link to the communities. So Melissa, Soka, Zakia, you can post the links to your communities for our members, attendees to join and peruse through. Okay. Yes, so I'll just take a few questions from what was brought forth from our attendees. Maybe to Melissa. Melissa, I know you're an ambassador for Mentors. So there's a question that if in your circle of friends and acquaintances, there's no one who can mentor you in the data science field, what is the alternative to finding a mentor and a community?
I think this is a very, very lovely question, considering that I do not have particular friends who are in the data science space. I think one thing that I found very, very hard to overcome is just approaching people via LinkedIn. And it was, if you feel awkward, I think maybe you feel like your request won't be answered to, or you know, that kind of fear. But once you overcome that's how you get mentors. And then even during events like this one, you can always get mentors. One thing though that I've also noticed when people seek for mentors is that they are not consistent. So you start off the first month, the second month, and then from there you don't really keep up with your mentor, and this sometimes can make your mentor or whoever who had volunteered, because this is most of the time volunteer work, gets tired or lack interest in helping you out further. Also, I think if you also want mentorship, for ladies in tech, I think Wenters have a cohort. They had previously had a cohort, just a few, I think last month but one. But the next cohort starts in, I think, January or February. So if you really want to be mentored, I think for Wenters, they usually try and make sure that it's not just the technical side of it, and they also go into skills that help you put yourself ahead, or just put yourself out there as a person who knows what they're doing, or even just learning. And I think what else, where else can you get mentors? There's a certain organization that I've also joined called Mentors Without Borders. They usually partner with NGOs to get mentors from different countries. I think I'll share the link in the chat box as we continue, so that you can get mentors. And I think also you can get mentors from people who are already training in various bootcamps. Yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you, Melissa. Maybe you can share the link to Mentors and the Mentors Without Borders on the chat, but people can follow and check them out. Thank you, Melissa. And to Soka, maybe you can answer this question. What are some paths in data science for self-employed individuals in the internet and networking industry? Which is the different parts in the data science space? Soka?
Okay, so actually, what is interesting in the field of data science is it has a very large community, and mostly people are really available to help for anyone who need help, you know. So even from social media, so you can get like your a lot of people who can help you get a job in the field of data science. Just so try to make yourself really open, you know, try to share what you are doing. So even sometimes you don't get to go to people, but people will reach out to you. So it's really important to be like sharing your project, what you are working on. Let people know that you are really interested on this field of data science. Share your profile on social media, especially on LinkedIn and Twitter. And so just to give you an example, I got when I was looking for a job, I got someone who contacted me from LinkedIn and wanted to to get me in their company. So how this is one way I got one of my jobs. So just to let you know that actually in the field of data science, it's really easy to get to in touch with people. So try to networks, you know, discuss with people. Anyone you see you have that the person has a very like interesting profile to you, try to reach out to the people, talk to them, let them know what you want to do. Then for sure you will get a lot of opportunities just by networking.
Thank you, Soka. Thank you for that. Maybe in the same lines, okay, you can take us through other question. Someone would love to be a data scientist, but they don't know where to start from. So just any advice for a beginner in data science, maybe again, whose background is not in tech or in math, how will they now get into the space? And just how to land a job, which Soka has partly touched on. So you can also document your journey into how you went into data science and how your journey, your journey, and just give advice to our attendees, those who are in school and those who are beginning in the space.
Awesome. So I do not have a background in maths. In maths, so I did my diploma at Akira Chicks, which is like a coding bootcamp where I learned the different programming languages. So I got interested into data science and machine learning, and told basically everyone that I'm interested in that. So Sorry about I don't know why my
We cannot hear you, Zakia.
maybe you could turn off your video. Maybe that's what is eating up into the bandwidth. Let's see if we can hear your voice. Okay, I think Lida, you can just continue as Zakia is fixing.
Okay, as her network stabilizes, I think we can just continue. Soka, maybe you can take us through any best data science communities to join, and not necessarily in maybe Africa as a whole, because we have participation from different countries. Maybe a few of the communities which you know which are really good for beginners and for those who are not in the data science space yet.
All right, yes. I mean, so I won't go far. So one of the really nice community that you can join for beginners is the Zindi, because it has like that platform where you can practice your skills. You know, the let's say the hackathons or the competition that has been done, you can go there, try them out, you know, by your own, and then after check what people have done about it, you know, and you can also have the chance of being part of the Zindi mentorship, where you can also have mentors that will guide you, help you to get into your data science journey. So depending also on the field you want to really focus on, you can find a lot of communities that are really interesting in the field of data science, depending where you are from too, because mostly actually the countries in Africa, they all have a data science community which is based in the country. And you have, let's say, the data science Nigeria, where you have, they run out sometimes, most of the time they run hackathons, you know, trainings for beginners. You have any country that you go, you can find communities that are built there, and then you will find your friends, you know, people that you share a lot of things, and it's good to be those in this kind of community where you really feel at home, you know. And I think these are, and the women in machine learning data science is also a very nice community where you can learn a lot, because mostly people organize hackathons, they organize trainings for beginners, they share opportunities. And yeah, so I think these are some communities that I know that they are doing a really good job in the field of data science.
Amazing. Thank you, Soka, for that. And I hope you've noted down a few of the comments and what Soka has said. Zakia, I can see your back.
Yeah, so I was sharing my journey, so I don't know where I left off.
You can just begin.
Okay, so as I said earlier, like I don't have a background in maths, so I did a coding at Akira, so I started off my journey in tech, and yeah, it's been awesome. So I joined UTU as a data science intern. So I didn't know anything at all about previously I've just self-learned GS and ML, but I didn't have a mentor or any experience. So that internship came in handy, and also the people at work. So that is my supervisor was very helpful. So like today he'll tell me go and learn. So I used to learn in batches. Like if today I'm going to do data analysis, and then when it came to email, he'll tell me go learn like in part like today logistic regression, tomorrow go and learn decision trees. So I learned in batches, and in a few months I had done an end-to-end
Okay, we seem to have lost.
this is bad, and I can't change my my internet to mobile is even worse. So I don't know how this is going to work. Sorry about that. But then probably let me just summarize. So what helped me get into DS, and any beginner can be able to do that if that works for you, hopefully. Different resources like there's this book, Python for Data Analysis. You can use to learn data analysis from scratch. And then there's also machine learning refined. You can use that for ML, that is learn the different machine learning algorithms. There is Google Crash Course by Google, that is. And then there's also machine learning for beginners by Microsoft. So all those came in handy, and also cognitiveclass.ai by IBM. So all those helped me a lot as a beginner, and made my internship really worth it. So I don't know if I even answered the question, but here we are.
Yes, thank you, Zakia. You have touched on that.
I'll just list all the resources in the chat. So
okay, that will be okay. Thank you, Zakia. I think we've come to the end of the questions from that came in before. We have a few in the chat. There was one from Joanne. Maybe I'll throw it to Soccer again. Soccer. So John is asking, after completing a certificate in data science, would you advise one to pursue a master's?
Well, I mean, it depends on, actually, I think it's dependent on the kind of certificate you already have. So if you feel like the certificate you have gives you most of like the knowledge that you need in the field of data science, I think if your goal is just to go to company, maybe you will not need to go for a master. But depending on what you want to do, basically, if you want to, let's say, go for a PhD in data science, you will need to go first for a master before you could go for a PhD. So all of that depend on actually what you really want to do. So it's important to know what the path that you want to take. If my goal is to have a PhD, I really need to go for a master, because with the certificate, training certificate, I cannot go directly to a PhD. So I need to have my master before I could go to a PhD. So I think going for a master's is really also sometimes very interesting, because you get to learn mostly the foundation of data science and machine learning, which is very important. Because for certificate, sometimes the training is very quick. So you have maybe, let's say, 1 week, 2 weeks that you go for. So when you go for master, you have more about the foundation of machine learning, the foundation of data science. It will help you really on your journey in data science.
Okay, thank you for that. Maybe the same question to Melissa. Now that you've finished your certificate in data science and you're also pursuing your degree in computer science, and you have a certificate from Moringa School in data science, would you, with those combined, would you maybe pursue a master's? Maybe you can hear from your perspective.
That's a very tough question. I don't know, but then I've been seeing a lot of companies have been asking for people who have masters.
Melissa, you're not that audible. Sorry, maybe could you?
Can you hear me now? I'm saying, I think at this point I can't really best answer that question, but I've been seeing a lot of job opportunities that are out there have been asking for a master's degree in data science, maybe if it's a complicated tasks. But yeah, I would do a master's, but then I feel like I would also do a complementing degree on something else, so that I can maybe know my niche, maybe something in a different field altogether. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Joanne, I hope your question is answered and you have some clarity on that. We have this question. Maybe I'll open it up to any of the three panelists. Joshua Kiplimo is currently shadowing someone in a company where he's working as a data science engineer. So he's asking, how could you help him understand data engineering well? Because as he said, I love working with numbers for sure. I like working with data. Now I have interacted with MySQL Server, Python, and a bit of Apache Airflow. How can I advance fully myself with this and also get advanced skills in Microsoft Excel? So he wants to really understand that engineering and continue advancing his skills in Excel. How can he maybe do that? What can he do to advance himself? Zaki, are you still there? Okay, or soccer or Elisa.
I think I can answer about advancing skills in Microsoft Excel. One thing is there are very many nice courses, I think, on Coursera that help one advance in skills for Microsoft Excel. And Excel is a very powerful tool. I think maybe sometimes when you're with other data scientists, they usually ignore it because it's really used. I think I'll just look for the links. They're very nice courses on Coursera, and I think also in Udemy. And most of the time you'll find they're free, or maybe you'll find coupons that actually make them free. So maybe let me look for them and then I can share them with you. Yeah, that's for Excel. I think someone else can answer the advancing fully. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Zaki, I will take that.
Could you please repeat the question a bit, or is it the long question about data engineering? I think I had it.
Yes.
Okay. For me, I think I'll suggest to. So recently, I was learning. So I talked to someone who is at a more senior level. So and I got to learn. It was a 1 hour call, and I got to learn a lot. So I suggest probably if I think it's a he could shadow or talk to someone or at a more senior level and see what it is, or probably ask questions on what he wants to get out of it. So I think that's another approach that I have found very helpful. So yeah.
Thank you for that. I have a question from Bernardo Giambo to Sasha. It is about if Moringa can offer part-time, which I think you answered. Maybe you can just repeat for his sake.
Okay, great. So for anyone who's looking for a part-time program, so one of the learning resources, in addition to all the resources and books, the materials that our panelists have shared today, you can join Moringa School and take part in a 33 weeks training program. So we do have both the part-time and full-time. So full-time is 23 weeks long, and that is, it's ideal for anyone who can commit to a full-time course, if I may say so. So you'll be required to be attending sessions and working on your projects from like Monday to Friday on an 8 to 5 kind of schedule. But for working individuals who, you have a 9 to 5 job, or probably you're also pursuing other courses out there, you can join our part-time program, which is 33 weeks long. And the sessions normally happen from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. So in the evening hours, for 3 hours during the weekdays from Monday to Friday. So I've shared like a link to our website where you can find all the information, which is well detailed. So if at all anyone is looking for a place to learn, kindly click on that link, and then we can continue the discussions from there. Yeah, back to you, Lydia.
Thank you, Sarah. And Bernard, I hope your question has been answered. As we take the remaining questions, maybe soccer, Ted Monkey is asking, other than soft skills, what helps the data scientists stand out when establishing their personal brand? Soccer, you can take that.
Well, I think actually what a data scientist need to know is, one part of him is a bit of mathematics. So not actually maybe very strong mathematics, but you need to know a bit of mathematics, especially linear algebra, let's say statistic and probabilities. These are like some notion that always come in the field of data science. So it's good to understand them, know at least what's the meaning of it, because when you're doing data science, it's come to like the time that you have to analyze the result that you have, and then from there you need to know actually the meaning of what you actually did. So this is mostly related to some mathematics knowledge. So you need to have some mathematics skills, and you need also to have some very thinking mindset, you know, to really be able to analyze your data, interact with your data, and bring like meaningful information from your data.
Soccer, we seem to have lost you.
Lydia, can I add something onto that? Just
Sure.
as Soccer is sorting out the internet issue.
Okay.
So on Ted's question, I work in marketing, and I think I have a few tips and points for anyone who's looking to establish a brand, right? So if you guys can see techies out there, I mean, including our panelists today, the reason we were able to even identify Melissa, Soha, Lydia, right, is because they had established a presence online, right? So we've been able to see like the tech communities that they're engaged in, their work also on LinkedIn and the likes, yeah? So first things first, if you're looking to establish a personal brand as a techie, be it a data scientist, a software engineer, a machine learning expert, is establishing an online presence, right? So you don't have to be active on all platforms. You can pick one and start working your way upwards on that. And you don't have to be an expert as well, right? You can just start from where you are. Yeah, if it's YouTube, you can start documenting your journey, like from the moment you've opened your first book, like maybe it's R for data science or Python for data science. You can start documenting your journey. Either on YouTube, you can start a personal blog, and you can be sharing like those articles, say on LinkedIn or Twitter. Twitter is pretty huge for techies. Also, LinkedIn is pretty huge. Yeah. So first is like determine like which platform am I going to have an online presence. Then number two, it's like you can come up with an idea in terms of like content, right? So maybe you want to share your journey of like where you've come from a complete beginner to a data scientist, right? Maybe you want to show people, you also want to share tips, right? Another content idea is like, this is what you can learn. These are the resources. This is the difference between a data scientist and a data engineer. People are always looking for this information online, right? So you can be one person, no matter the point you're at in your career, to share this kind of content online consistently, right? Then number 3, first and foremost, I think all of us are here because of tech communities. So plug into the tech communities that have been shared today and volunteer. Volunteer to speak, volunteer to be part of panel discussions, right? Through that, you're also building your network. You're building your presence out there. People know, people know, like, this is your domain. This is, let's say there's Alan Kira. We know we can always reach out to Alan Kira if we need someone to run a workshop on Python or machine learning, right? So these are just some of the tips. I'm thinking maybe Ted, you can confirm if they can help you when you're establishing a personal brand. Yeah, back to Lydia.
Sasha, maybe I can plug in just a small bit. Yeah, I also know that we are out here, we are branding ourselves. We are people who want to be seen out there as data scientists. But again, having the skills is something very important. And I can also shout out that you need to practice to be a data scientist. So as Sasha had mentioned on the chat, writing blogs will help you brand yourself, writing blogs of what you're learning, and definitely taking part in hackathons or competitions. So as I mentioned in my presentation earlier, we were able to establish Lawrence because he is top on the leaderboard. Even the head of data science in Equity is top on top of the Zindy leaderboard. So he was able to be established to that and given a high position. So that's also another place that you can be able to brand yourself as a data scientist, always show your skills. Yeah, I'll pass it back to our moderator, Lydia.
Thank you so much. That was very helpful. And as we continue, maybe our next question, we had, what do you think of special data science, and where most data in today's world has special attributes? And how is the job market for a specialized field of data science like that one, above which is spatial data science? Melissa, would you want to take that?
I had another question in mind. Maybe Soka can answer that one.
Okay. Soka, can you answer that?
Okay. So can you come again for the question? I think my network is just. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, I can continue.
Okay.
Maybe you can come up again.
Just, yeah, sure.
Sorry, Soka, I didn't get you.
Yes, so can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, apologies for that. The question is from Jopa. What do you think of spatial data science, where most data in today's world has spatial attributes? And how is the job market for a specialized field of data science like that one, above which is spatial data science?
Oh, okay. So spatial data. Actually, I have never worked on spatial data, but I think actually it's getting more and more interesting. People are mostly using it, especially in the field of agriculture. So I think it's something that people are looking for, and especially also in the field of climate change. So people are really interested actually in that field. I think it's a very nice field to explore and then learn more about it. Yeah.
Maybe if I can add, I do know a certain person who can help out in that question in particular. You can look them up on LinkedIn, Carol Lakoth. She can really help you out with that question.
Thank you, Soka. Thank you, Melissa. Maybe Melissa, you can send her link on the chat box for anyone who might want to check her out and ask that question. Thank you.
Before, maybe if I can interrupt, there was one question posed by Joy of what a healthy mentor relationship looks like. It's very, very complicated when it comes to healthy mentor relationships. However, it's more of drawing the line of what you want to achieve at the very end. And you don't have to be so formal. I think with your mentor, you can be friendly, you can achieve all the things that you had set out to do. I think most of the burden usually goes to the mentee to make sure that they follow up with their mentors and try and make sure that you always engage your mentor, because sometimes it becomes so it becomes a bit tedious when you leave the task to the mentor to follow up with you and try to know what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Melissa. Joy, I hope your question has been answered. Maybe is Zakia back? Zakia? You can say something.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll throw the question from Andrew Karanja to you. Where can a person go for industrial attachment in Kenya and get good skills? And maybe as you answer that, Sasha can come in and answer if Moringa offers attachment. Zakia?
So industrial attachment. So that is for, I think it's for a student, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are many opportunities, especially for students, in terms of, I don't know, I think industrial attachment is different from internships. So I don't really know how that can work. But then if it's, I think is it the same? I don't know if I didn't go to uni. So if the same, there are a lot of opportunities for students, and I usually tell people to go for the big companies. That is like Microsoft is currently actively hiring around. So there are times, there are opportunities for students, that is internships specifically for students, and I think Kenyans can really take that opportunities. And if you need help to get like a Microsoft interview, just let me know. I'd be happy to help and connect you.
Zakia, maybe Sasha, you can.
Okay, if I can add on to that, I think industrial attachments and internships are pretty close. It's a matter of gaining work experience. Yeah. So in terms of like where you can get this, I'd suggest for someone to go on LinkedIn, just look at entry level or kind of like internship roles that are in line with like data science, data analysis, and apply, right? So at Moringa, we don't offer these attachments, but my advice is for someone to keep checking the job boards on LinkedIn for like in internship opportunities and, you know, and the likes, because it's pretty much, the term is used interchangeably. Then number two, as you guys are plugging into the tech communities today, make sure I know a couple of tech communities share open roles and opportunities with their members. So also take initiative and join these tech communities. You'll be able to land on like a volunteer role. Maybe you'll be required to volunteer for something, or you can even apply for an internship. Then lastly, I'd just like to reiterate what Zindy does. So through like the competitions and the likes, when you take part in one, you'll also stand a chance of getting absorbed into an internship role, or like depending on the company that's hosting the competition or like the hackathon, they can absorb you into the organization. So it's just a matter of taking initiatives, but maybe Rose can come in at this point and just like clarify how people can get search through the Zindi platform.
Yes, thank you so much, Sasha, for also bringing that in. Yes, for the Zindi platform, again, we work with very many companies, any company that you can think of, and they have just posted their data set on the platform that they need data scientists to help them solving, starting from Uber across to different companies in Africa. You can always just plug in, and they always recognize talent, and they will reach out. In, for instance, in Studyp, most of the ambassadors from Zindi, or the participants who were taking part on InstaDeep competitions and they were ranking top, got hired at InstaDeep, which is a really huge company in Tunisia for AI. And another thing, on the Zindi platform, we have a job section. So we are constantly posting job opportunities, entry-level opportunities for AI across Africa, and they're remote jobs. So if you feel like you want to plug in, ensure that you are also trying to skill up, show your skills, and secure a interview from that sector. So you can just go to the jobs. They're all African or outside Africa opportunities, and most of them are entry level. So you can try and look into that. And yeah, thank you, Sasha. Yeah, back to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that. As we go on, in the interest of time, Sasha, there's a question related to you in terms of roles from Vicky Mbaka. In terms of roles, what is the difference between a data scientist, data analyst, or data engineer?
I think Lydia, you can answer. You can respond to that question even as we wrap up the panel discussion.
Allow me to throw it to Melissa.
Wow, I feel like
I believe in you. I believe in you.
I usually feel like when you're a data scientist, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. I usually feel like data engineers are just basically trying to make sure that the data, this is how I break it down in a way that I understand, because all these terms can sometimes be confusing. A data engineer is a person who makes sure that the data that is being produced or being brought to the data scientist or the team can be in a form that they can work with. What was the last one?
So we have a data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer. Okay, wait, I think for a data analyst, this is most of the time a very entry level kind of position, because it's not it's not like specified. So you can perform analysis on different types of data so that you can like help companies draw insights from the data that they've collected so that they can make better decisions. Data engineer just basically makes sure that the data is in a manner that is best suited for the data science team to work with. And a data scientist, I usually say, is a jack of all trades and a master of none. They can basically do data analysis, they can do ML, they can, I think there are still limits because you can't work alone. Most of the time, you always need a team to work with, especially when a task is very large. But a data scientist is a jack of all trades. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Anyone who wants to add? Zakia, Soka, also Delilah.
Yeah, maybe something to add is just sometimes people just see data analysis as part of data science, because data science just give you a way of getting meaningful information from your data, and then this information need to be analyzed to know, okay, this is what means actually. So you can see just data analysis as part of data science, but the more technical part of data science.
All right, thank you for that. Allow me to throw this question to Delilah. From Lynn, do the qualifications, so how can I get certification for being a data scientist, and do the qualifications make me a data scientist, or the skills I have?
Okay, so this comes up as okay. So definitely you can go to a boot camp, let's say Moringa School, and get certified. But the only way that you're going to be accepted into a company is through the skills you have. Many people have gone through boot camps. Many people have enrolled in boot camps and have graduated. Yes, sure, I have the certificate, but what next? We are looking for people with talent. We're looking for people with skills. I know for sure Moringa impacts skills, and if you take your journey seriously and put in the effort, you can have those skills to be a data scientist. And again, being intentional in your journey, go outside the scope of what you're learning, not only in a bootcamp, go outside the scope, take part in hackathons, take part in community work, contribute to speaking and sharing the knowledge you have. Again, sharing the knowledge you have helps you grasp that knowledge really well. And when you feel like you have really grasped the skills, I will assure company, when you go to do an interview and they tell you, please do analysis on this data, or try and put in, maybe this k-means clustering model, pass it through this pipeline and get to see how it does clustering. They won't refuse you because you have the knowledge, you have the skills, and definitely a certification is something to top up. So it's like an icing to the cake. But again, it's a must you have skills. The data science tech field skills is something that's very important. That's how you showcase that you are speaking what you are, something like that. Yeah. So you're saying I'm a data scientist, but you're also showing the skills. Some people can just say I'm a data scientist, but the skills are lacking. So ensure you have the skills and put in the effort, put in the work. Yeah. Gadoni, to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I'll go through the feedbacks to the question. So maybe just one more question from Anne. I have a background in environmental sustainability and climate change. I'm interested in data science because the future of this industry lies in drawing insights from data. Is there anyone who approached data science analysis as a tool within their current career? Or what advice would you give for someone who wants to approach data science from this perspective? Soha, maybe if you have something, or anyone.
I think Jilpa had answered her earlier. She just said she can maybe look into special data science. Special data analysis, I'm sorry. Yeah,
and you can look into that, or you can even connect with Jilpa for further discussions on the same, and then you'll get somewhere with that. So thank you very much. I think we are done with the questions, and thank you very much for participating. Thank you to our panelists for being able to answer them, to answer our questions very comprehensively and in great detail. And I thank you, Melissa. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Soha from Senegal. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Zakia. Really appreciate your time, and thank you for allowing us to ask you questions and also sharing your knowledge with us. Sasha and Delilah, thank you for organizing this. So maybe I'll just give it back to you, and then we can continue from there. Thank you so much. I've been Lydia Kadoni, moderator.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lydia, for that amazing discussion with the panelists. And Lydia, I hope you also shared your profile, right?
Yes, I did. Maybe I can just say it again.
Yeah.
I'm a developer at ICT Authority. I'm also an ICT and data manager working with Awan Africa, and also transitioning slightly to robotic process automation, which is a career I'm transitioning into. And so if anyone again is interested in RPA, which is it's a newer field in Kenya, but it is also very interesting. This automation AI, you can hit me up. I will share also my link to my LinkedIn, and we can proceed from there. Thank you so much, Sasha, for the opportunity.
Okay, awesome. Great. So thank you so much once again. And I think on the emails and the communications, we also shared all the LinkedIn profiles for our panelists. So I hope our panelists are very open to getting interactions on their LinkedIn pages. So if you need like any further guidance, for those who are looking for like mentorship or places to connect, this is your chance. We have given you 5 LinkedIn profiles. So you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, send them a message, and they'll be able to guide you on the various parts, no matter the stage you're in on LinkedIn. So just in case some of the attendees don't have that, I'll kindly ask Soha, Melissa, Zakia, also Rose, Lydia, please just share your LinkedIn profiles on the chat box again, so that people can follow you. And if there's anyone as well in the participants group, you are open to mentoring other people, or even inviting people into the tech communities you're in, feel free to also share your LinkedIn profiles so that we can continue to network. So we have come to the end of our webinar today. Our hope is that at the end of this session, you have been able to, get knowledge. You have been able to get knowledge on like how you can plug into tech communities and how you can leverage on these tech communities to advance in your careers. I won't repeat what the panelists said, but very, very awesome insights and pointers have been shared today. So I think it's up to everyone to now action on the advice and the tips that have been given. So I think there was a couple of questions here for me, but I think I've answered them. I'll just share the link to Moringa's website, and I'll also ask Rose to share the link to Zindy's website as well. So if at all you'd like to learn data science and take up a course, be sure to join Moringa. And if you are a current student in data science and you want to practice, take part in hackathons and competitions, be sure to sign up and join Zindy. So I think at this point, I'm gonna open it up to our participants. I want to hear from like 1 or 2 of you. Maybe you have like a thank you note. You can give a thank you note to our panelists even before we wrap up and say goodbye. So you have a chance to unmute yourself and just give us like your parting shot as an attendee of today's event. Feel free, anyone. Hi, Sarah. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Fine. Thank you. Thank you for the chance. So my name is Sarah, and I'm currently studying Python, self-learning. So I would like to appreciate for this chance for Zindi and Moringa and all of you, the panelists, for taking your time, because the time is very important. Understand that it's very expensive. We cannot even pay you guys. We really, on behalf of the others, we really appreciate, as well also for giving us the chance to link with you guys in LinkedIn. Some of you nimeshawatumia, and I can see Soha, she has accepted. And we really appreciate. I hope you guys will also give us the chance to be mentors. I really appreciate. And to Zakia, I think interact na Zakia, and it's really a nice chance seeing you. You are such a great lady and kind-hearted as well. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lydia, also.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Would you reach out to the face?
Pardon?
I don't know if I heard you correctly.
Oh, I've said, I think I once interacted with you, but not physically. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Could you reach out? We connect after this.
Yes, yes, I will.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback, Sarah. I believe everyone here has also felt the impact. So be sure to connect with our panelists on LinkedIn and just take the conversations further. So once again, thank you so much for our panelists for taking the time to contribute to this conversation. And yeah, we are deeply indebted for your heart and your giving, even for the tech communities out there. So I've been your host, Sasha Chen. Rose, do you want to show your video and also say bye?
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for plugging in. Or again, you can always reach out via delilah@zindi.africa, and I'll be here to assist you join in our community and also get started in your journey in taking part in hackathons and again getting some tunes or money from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for having us, and we are really happy that you're able to join.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Great. Yeah. So we have been your host. We have been your people. Bye bye, guys. Enjoy your evening. Keep
Where are the
learning. Keep
greens?
growing. Bye, Zakia. Bye, Soha.
Bye.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Lydia.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.